across the seasons. Once upon a time, in a quiet town nestled between rolling hills and shimmering lakes, there lived a girl named Alara and a boy named Jonah. They met during spring, a season of renewal, when the cherry blossoms blanketed the park in soft pinks and whites. Alara was sketching the flowers near the fountain, her pencil dancing across the paper. Jonah, a barista with dreams of becoming a novelist, was walking his dog, Max, who broke free and dashed toward Alara. Startled, Alara laughed as Max knocked over her pencils. Jonah ran up, breathless and apologetic. She looked up, their eyes met, and something shifted, quiet, gentle, but sure. Over the following weeks, Jonah brought her coffee each morning while she sketched, and she read pages of his novel drafts in return. They talked about everything: books, fears, favorite constellations, and nothing like the shape of clouds and the taste of mangoes. Their connection grew like spring into summer, warm, bright, undeniable. Summer brought late-night walks and sun-drenched afternoons. They danced under fireworks during the town's festival, and Jonah whispered, "You make time feel like magic." Alara, heart blooming, squeezed his hand and smiled. But love, like seasons, changes. In autumn, Alara received a prestigious art scholarship in Florence. It was a dream she'd chased for years. They sat beneath the golden trees, leaves falling like whispered promises. "You have to go," Jonah said, voice steady though his heart trembled. "I'd never forgive myself if you stayed." She kissed him then, tears mingling with laughter. "You're my favorite part of this story." The months apart were hard. Emails turned to letters, letters to postcards. Jonah published his first book, dedicating it to E, who paints my world. 2 years later, on a snowy winter evening, Alara returned. The park fountain was frozen, the cherry trees bare. But Jonah was there, holding a thermos of coffee and a slightly worn copy of her first illustrated novel. "Missed a few chapters," he said, voice low with emotion. "But I never stopped reading." She stepped closer, heart thundering. "Let's write the rest together." And under the winter stars, they began again, not from the beginning, but from the middle of something real and beautiful. Because the best love stories aren't the ones that avoid change, but the ones that grow with it, across all seasons. 1,000 letters never sent. In a quiet town by the sea, where gulls cried to the wind and the ocean whispered forgotten secrets, lived a girl named Alara. She spent her days working in her grandmother's old bookshop, tucked away between a bakery and a florist. Her heart, though soft and kind, had been bruised by time, and so she poured all her love into letters she never sent, dozens, then hundreds, sealed and hidden in a wooden box under her bed. One rainy afternoon, a stranger stepped into the shop. His name was Aiden. He was a traveler, an artist, someone who carried stories in his sketchbooks and sadness in his smile. He asked for a book of poetry, but stayed for hours, caught in conversation with Alara about Keats, Van Gogh, and the sound of thunder on rooftops. They fell in love slowly, like sunrise spilling across a dark horizon. Days turned into weeks of stolen glances, quiet laughter, and long walks along the cliffs. Aiden painted Alara beneath cherry blossoms. Alara read him letters she dared not send. But Aiden had come to the town for a reason, to say goodbye to the place where his mother had once dreamed of living. She had died the year before. Aiden never planned to stay, but Alara made leaving feel like a betrayal of everything beautiful. "I don't want to leave you," he whispered one evening, their hands tangled, hearts aching. "Then stay," she replied. "We'll build something here. A life. A home." He kissed her, but left the next morning before the sun had risen. No note, no farewell. Only a painting of her, asleep, with the sea behind her. Heartbroken, Alara buried herself in the shop. She stopped writing. For months, her world stood still, until one day, a package arrived. Inside were dozens of letters, each one written by Aiden from cities across Europe, Paris, Prague, Lisbon. Every page a confession. Every line a promise. He'd painted her in every place he'd been. He'd written about the ache of absence, the color of her eyes, the poetry in her voice. And then the final letter. I'm coming home, Alara. If you'll have me. She cried. She ran. She found him on the very cliff where they'd first watched the storm roll in. He stood there, older, but with the same look in his eyes, like she was the only person in the world. I never stopped loving you, he said. She smiled through tears. I wrote you 1,000 letters I never sent. Then maybe, he whispered, stepping closer, we can spend a lifetime reading them, together. And so they did.